Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Tonight is the November 19th, 2018 Town Board meeting. Would everybody please rise for the pledge? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before I begin my announcements, I have an award to give. Excuse me. Could you come up here, please? Sally, this is from the Town Board, a proclamation for you. Whereas Sally Angela Rotundo worked as a town employee very faithfully for 28 years, retiring as a full-time police assistant with the Town of East Fishkill Police Department. And whereas Sally was born and raised in Bronx, New York, and moved to East Fishkill in 1973, Sally has been married to her husband Mike for 51 years and has 3 children, Gina, John, and Michael. And whereas Sally began her professional career with the Wappinger Central School District working with special needs students, she taught exercise and volleyball classes, volunteered as a Boy Scout leader, and worked as a part-time court clerk for the Honorable Judge Thomas F. Wood, all while raising a family. And whereas Sally's persistence, caring, and empathetic attitude will be missed by all those who called the East Fishkill Police Department, Sally's steadfast professionalism has been acknowledged from all the letters of commendation by her supervisors, co-workers, and the public. Sally exemplifies the motto, East Fishkill, a great place to live. And now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the citizens of East Fishkill and fellow employees, the Town Board commends and congratulates Sally Rotundo on her retirement. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of East Fishkill expresses its appreciation to Sally Rotundo for 28 years of faithful and dedicated service as a town employee. Sally, thank you.
Amazing. I am so humbled, I can't tell you. And I have to thank you. And it was such an honor to work for this town. The residents of East Fishkill really have no idea what they have in this police department. As a town police department, the training, the professionalism, the fantastic chief. And I thank God every day I had the opportunity to show up and do. And I thank you so much.
Thank you, Sally, and congratulations. Mike, good luck. Joe, well, just a few comments. We had to change our Thursday's meeting to tonight because of the snowstorm, so I'm sorry for any inconvenience, but I'm sure everybody could watch. Mr. Grasso's here, though, so we won't miss the meeting. His attendance stays perfect. Just a few comments. I started the month attending an award ceremony for National Resources, along with our town planner, Michelle Robbins. For National Resources, or IPARC, they were awarded the Arthur Collins Visionary Award for Leadership in Land Use. This is like the Academy Awards for the land use. And the Urban Land Institute of Westchester and Fairfield counties gave the award, and it was at a beautiful club down in Rye. I just want to read a little blurb from the Visionary Award. They said, under the leadership of Joe Cotter and Lynn Ward, Natural Resources is one of the most highly regarded development firms in New York metro region. Natural Resources is a specialist real estate development and investment firm that focuses on redevelopment of corporate and industrial sites. National Resources has been built on a solid foundation of acquisitions, leasing, and redevelopment, and is best known for its landmark Hudson River waterfront residences and its innovative iParks. So this award is given to organizations or firms whose efforts demonstrate the highest standards of responsible real estate development in the region. We're blessed to have a company like this in our town. We really are. A company of this caliber, from what I gather, it doesn't come around too often. So this is sorely needed for the rehabilitation down in our 52 corridor to make it, economically viable again. So congratulations to National Resources on this honor. We had another police supervisors meeting at the police station. Usually this is once a month. Councilman Marinaro and I usually attend. We sat with the chief and the other police supervisors. We discussed ways to improve town safety and other relevant matters in town. With so many social and economic challenges facing the town, we're very blessed to have such a dedicated and professional police department. Town safety is one of the biggest concerns from our residents. They all do a great job, all the men and women in our department, so thank you to them. I had a meeting with one of our farmers in town, Josh Morgenthau from Fishkill Farms. Mr. Morgenthau came in with one of his farm managers to discuss future plans for the farm. They had a very successful season, and they have plans to expand the farm. Even with all the rain that we recently experienced, people are still coming out, which is a great thing. They really have a beautiful working farm, and the town board is very supportive of all the farms in the town, not only them. This is another reason why I love our town, why our town really is the best, because we have a great balance, a great mix of business, farms, industry, open space. This is why we're desirable for people to come and move here, actually. When we first had our inaugural Business and Economic Development Committee meeting, one of the board members put it right. They said, "I didn't grow up here. We chose to live here because of the great blend of the rural and commercial, and I want to be part of the committee to make sure that we continue this into the future." So, as everyone knows, we are in the midst of zoning amendments, and we are specifically looking at the areas for development in the hamlet areas, which have the infrastructure in place like water and sewer. So as I was saying, Josh, he came in from Fishkill Farms, and we had a good meeting, and he's looking to expand. So even though his area of town doesn't have water and sewer, he wants to expand his farming business. So that just goes to show you that not only the industrial types want to expand, so do the farms. So the town is business-friendly and farmer-friendly. The town engineer, town planner, town controller, and I met with Brock Rogers from the New York State Department of Health and James Teed, the Dutchess County Department of Health. We had a comprehensive discussion about two water projects, Revere Park and Worley Homes. As everyone knows or may not know, Revere Park is a town-owned and operated water system, and Worley Homes is about to become that also. They both have problems, and for us to address, we need the help of Dutchess County and New York State to initiate and implement the plans that we're coming up with. We had a very positive discussion about temporary hookups and the possibility of receiving grants, which I'm pleased to advise the residents of that. And we'll be having a meeting with bond counsel now to see how we could address the borrowing and the possibility of getting the grant. The concern is we have to bond the total cost of the project, even if we get the grant. So that brings up concerns like getting approval from the New York State Office of Audit Control. They have to sign off on the borrowing for the district. So we still have questions to be answered. We'll be expanding our discussions and plans with our consulting water engineers and our in-house engineers, and I will keep the town board up to date on that ASAP. 2 Sundays ago was Veterans Day. We're so blessed to have a tremendous support from all our veterans in our community. Hopefully everyone showed thanks and appreciation to the veterans that you come across. They're the reason why we enjoy our freedoms that we have. I've noticed more and more people having appreciations for veterans, not only on Veterans Day or Memorial Day, but year-round. I see people stopping vets and thanking them for their service, and that's great. So it's kind of contagious. People see that, they want to do the right thing, they want to show appreciation for them, and, today in our day and age with so many social problems and economic problems, it's nice that we can thank the people who give us our freedoms. The American Legion, Manny Bacon Post, they did have a veterans event on Friday, November 9th at John Jay High School. It's always a great event. Dutchess County Veterans Ceremony was on that Sunday at the Dutchess County War Memorial in Poughkeepsie. That was held by the Dutchess County Office of Veteran Affairs. That also was a very nice ceremony. And there was many other ceremonies throughout the county. So thank you to all who come out to those ceremonies. It's important to honor and remember our vets. They made the ultimate sacrifice, that's for sure. I met with some of the realtors and developers who are interested in doing some projects. They are very supportive of our town board. They see that the town board is very proactive for the business community. A lot of them has said that they have businesses in multiple towns, and they don't see that any other town has business committees, economic development committees that can help and assist the businesses. So they say that we are kind of the talk of the county, which I'm happy to say that. This town board is proactive, and we will do whatever we can to help and support businesses that are here and want to come here. So thank you to the town board for all the support that you give our businesses and all the work that we do together. I also met with some of the property owners who are located down the Route 52 corridor about sewer and water. As the corridor gets filled up, we need to expand the water and sewer. It becomes more and more apparent that we need to do that, so it's definitely on our radar. This coincides with another meeting I had with a few supervisors from Fishkill, Wappingers, and Poughkeepsie. We discussed sharing services of water and sewer, the expansion of that infrastructure in all our towns, and the possibility of utilizing a significant large capacity sewer plant at Global Foundries. So we're investigating that, and I'll keep the town board abreast as those talks continue. But we're all in the same boat, all of us towns. We need to expand our water and sewer infrastructure, and it seems like whoever gets done first wins. And I don't mean that negatively, but I mean that it's necessary to attract businesses to our town, and that's what we need. So we're seeking a collaborative effort here. On Tuesday last week, we hosted Mark DeBald. He's a program administrator from the Dutchess County Transportation Council here at Town Hall. They're doing a safety assessment on Beekman Road. The highway superintendent, town engineer, Lieutenant Wood from the police department, and myself were all in attendance. There are many collisions near Augusta Drive on that sharp curve and also down by Clove Branch Road. So they collect data, speed, road conditions, weather conditions, and they do a site visit to visually see what's going on out there. Then they will formulate a report which goes to Dutchess County Planning for Dutchess County for their consideration, and then they make necessary recommendations and implementations. So look, I'll keep the board abreast as to those what's going to come from the suggestions from Dutchess County. Last Wednesday evening, we hosted Bill Beal from the Emergency Management. He's Emergency Management Coordinator for the Dutchess County Department of Emergency Response. They came to our community center for a citizens preparedness training, which was well attended for the first one. This is the first one we've had. Basically, they give a training on how to respond in a disaster, man-made or natural. They provide tools and resources to better prepare yourselves, and every citizen received a preparedness response starter kit, which was very nice. It was a little backpack with all these whatnot in there for emergency. Was very nice, and we'll be conducting another one come probably midsummer. I'll let you know when that is. Last Wednesday morning, the town engineer and I attended a meeting at Fishkill Town Hall for the intermunicipal water and sewer collaboration. The supervisors I was there, Fishkill, Wappinger, Poughkeepsie, the village of Fishkill, village of Wappingers, all the engineers. It was a big meeting. All of us were in attendance. We've had several meetings like this, like I said in the past. We're trying to help each other with the water and sewer, like I said. One of the key topics was the aquifer protection, though. The next order of business is to gain information from a few different engineering firms that have done work for all of the municipalities involved, and we're trying to put together an aquifer map to see where we would need protected areas, and maybe we can construct some legislation that all the municipalities can agree on. The primary areas are where the recharge zones are for the water wells. That's important to protect those areas. So the next meeting is not until the new year, but I'll keep everybody posted as to what goes on there. If you live down the Carroll Drive area, you probably noticed there's a drill rig on the side of the roadway. The town engineer has started the process for the replacement of the Carroll Drive Bridge. The drill rig is there for the geotechnical investigation. This part is part of the design of the foundation of the bridge. So we're happy this is starting, and we're going to have to pass a bond resolution probably sooner than later for that, but I'll keep you posted when that'll be. Also, I have been in contact with all the houses of worship in our town, of every faith. I'll be holding a meeting and training for who would ever like to attend. Since all the tragedies that have been happening in the houses of worship, I thought it was appropriate to get the leaders of those organizations together with our police department, and so we could go over some procedures and protocols. God forbid there is ever an emergency, so I'll let you know when that will be. And also tonight, I attended, along with Deputy Supervisor and Councilman Marinaro, the Heroes of the 105th Assembly District, hosted by Assemblyman Kieran Lawler. It was a nice event. It was at the Mill Creek Caterers. This was the first of the Assemblyman's, I guess he's calling it the Heroes. He's going to have a nice ceremony like this every year, where he picks 3 different citizens who have done extraordinary things, and he honors them. It was really nice to see. So thank you for attending that. And with that, that's all I got. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Councilperson Cassidy?
Present.
Councilperson Marinaro?
Present.
Councilperson Franco?
Present.
Councilperson Beatman?
Present.
Supervisor D'Alessandro?
Present. Thank you. And has everybody received the October 25th, 2018 minutes? And any additions, subtractions, corrections? No, Clerk? Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the October 25th, 2018 minutes?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. And we have a public hearing, but we are going to adjourn it till, which is on the Route 82 water improvement area. In your packets, there is a note from the town planner, Michelle Robbins, as to what she deems for the creation of the funding mechanism for the Route 82 water improvement area. We are going to adjourn that till the next town board meeting, which is December 13th, 2018. Do I need a motion for that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing for the formation of the Route 82 water improvement area to December 13th, 2018 at 7 PM?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. With that, we have one addition to the agenda tonight. We'll do it last. It is authorize a hearing on an unsafe structure. That's on 37 Carroll Drive, so we'll do that last. Okay, with that, at this time of the meeting is a courtesy of the floor. Any residents like to come up and speak about any concerns, questions, comments about anything going on in town, anything on the agenda? Please come up now and address the town board, please. No? Nobody? Not tonight? Okay. So with that, anything for receipt and file, Clerk?
No, we do
No,
not.
not tonight. All right, resolutions. Start with those. Number 1, set a public hearing for December 13th regarding a solar law. We're going to have 2 public hearings, actually 3 public hearings on the 13th. No, 4. We have the solar law the Route 82 water improvement area, the
Uns-
zoning amendments.
Unsafe buildings.
All the
Oh,
condemned.
no, that's not a public hearing, though. That's just a
been
hearing.
on.
Clerk.
So you knocked it down to 3, you're good.
See you three. So I have proposed an adoption of a local law that would establish a solar ordinance. And we need to have a public hearing about that, which I propose to have on December 13, 2018 at Town Hall at 7 PM. There has been a lot of discussion lately about solar projects and solar farms, and it's time that the town has to set some protocols and procedures on those. So this is the beginning of it. Do I have a motion to set the public hearing?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 2, schedule, Councilman Franco, would you read that?
Whereas the town board is vested with the power to declare certain structures unsafe in accordance with law, whereas the town engineer has recommended that the town board consider condemnation action on unsafe structures at both 862 Route 82 and 880 Route 82, as per his attached memo. Whereas it is now the recommendation of the town supervisor that the board authorize a hearing regarding unsafe structure proceedings, and be it further resolved that the town board will conduct a hearing regarding the above-named structures on December 13th, 2018.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to schedule a hearing for December 13th?
So move.
Two structures? Have a motion, a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Discussion. This are 2 unsafe buildings, and they are in need of coming down. The engineer, you have read the engineer's memo attached. He has stamped it, saying that he deems it unsafe, and should the owners come to the town board on December 13th to have a hearing to discuss with the town board on what to do. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 3, declaring certain police inventory surplus. Councilman Marinaro, would you read that?
Whereas the town police chief has provided the town board with a listing of inventory which he deems to be of no further use to the police department, and thus should be removed. And whereas the town board has reviewed said list and concurs, now therefore be it resolved that the inventory listed on the annexed memo be and hereby are declared to be outdated and are to be disposed by the town, and be further resolved that the police chief be and hereby is authorized to dispose of said inventory.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize disposal of outdated police department inventory?
So moved?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. So the new police chief is throwing everything in the garbage. And
Seems like it.
we did one of these a few months ago. It's the 2 outdated computers. Any other discussion on that? No. I have a motion and a second. Everybody, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 4, recognize highway employee promotion. Deputy Supervisor, would you read that, please?
Whereas Casterlin was previously hired by the town as a driver in the highway department, and whereas the highway superintendent has indicated his desire to have said employee promoted from a driver to a CEO at an hourly rate of $30.15, and whereas the town board does concur with this recommendation, now therefore be resolved that Casterlin be and hereby is promoted to the position of CEO effective October 29, 2018.
Thank you, Councilman. I saved the short one for you. Do I have a motion to promote a driver to construction equipment operator, number 1?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? No? No discussion? Okay. Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 5, authorized tax settlement. A long one. Councilman Bepan, would you read this, please?
Of course. Whereas from time to time, property owners file Article 7 proceedings challenging their assessments following denials by the Board of Assessments Review. And whereas following negotiations between the town attorney and the town assessor, the tax certiorari set forth herein is able to be resolved. And whereas it appeared that to be in the best interest of the town to resolve these upon these terms and conditions, Now therefore be it resolved that the town attorney be and hereby is authorized to execute stipulation of settlement settling in the following matter. There's 4 different grid numbers, and there's 4 different reduced assessments. Be it further resolved that the town attorney be hereby is authorized to take all steps necessary and appropriate to effectuate and settlement of these matters, and be it further resolved that all town officials, all officials of the town be and hereby be authorized and enabled to effectuate the intent of the order, and is entered in by the justice of the Supreme Court.
Thank you, Councilman. Do I have a motion to authorize the settlement of tax certiorari for Beekman Golf Course?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So time to time, we have these, thank God we don't have a lot of them. Honorable James Brands has the order in judgment, and Tom, you want to?
Sure, and
Add to
with
that?
the case of Beekman, as you know, there was a sale of the property last year, and so this is based on the sale price, but also the whole method of appraising golf courses in New York State has vastly changed in the last few years. So most municipalities that have golf courses within them are suffering reductions in assessments on those golf courses. So this is reflective of an actual sales transaction, so.
All right, very good. Thank you. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Number 6, refer rezone for Shade and Sun. So this is a rezone application to the town board and the County of Dutchess Planning Board. Upon filing a petition with the town clerk, the payment, which they made their fees, is now before the town board. The town board has determined that it is appropriate to refer this matter to the planning board for review. There's parcels up in Stormville Mountain, 3 parcels, I believe, that they are asking for a rezone, and we are going to pass this on to the planning board for their review, and also Dutchess County Planning Board for their comments. And after that, then we will have to have a public hearing. Is that correct, Tom?
Correct.
Right. So do I have a motion to refer this application to the Town Planning Board and the Dutchess County Planning Board?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. And we have the addition. Deputy Supervisor, would you read that? Right there, the add-on?
structure.
Yep, that's it.
Whereas the town board is invested with the power to declare certain structures unsafe in accordance with the law. Whereas the town engineer has recommended the town board consider condemnation action of an unsafe structure at 37 Carroll Drive as per his attached memo. Whereas it now be at the recommendation of the town supervisor and the board authorize a hearing regarding unsafe structure proceedings, and be it further resolved that the town board will conduct this hearing on December 13th, 2018.
Thank you, Councilman. So, okay, do I have a motion to authorize a hearing on unsafe structure?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? So this was a,
Scott, on some of these structures that we're declaring unsafe, if, let's say, the owners have tried to take them down, and because of the lead issue, it becomes very expensive for these structures to come down, what's the alternative?
Well, I don't know that there is. I mean, first, they would have a survey done for the lead and asbestos.
Right.
Okay, to see whether, you know, what might be required.
Right.
I think to their advantage would be, in my opinion, that, you know, if the structure's unsafe, you really can't put people in there to start removing these.
Right.
So now, a firm would come in and make a recommendation of how to control, you know, like wetting everything so that dust doesn't take off. So I don't see them in any situation having to go into the structure and remove anything. It would just be how they do the demo to contain the dust. That would be my opinion. So
Right.
I don't think that should be a big burden, other than having to do the survey.
Right. I mean, this is a discussion I was having with a gentleman that works with one of these asbestos company. And they usually say that when they go out and give a price, because of the environmental issues, it becomes extremely costly.
It could be,
It
yes.
could be.
Yeah.
It's leaned back on the property owner property. So what happens is the purpose of the hearing next month is for the property owners, if they wish, to come in and explain to the town board what steps they're going to take to either secure the property so that members of the public don't go in, that it doesn't fall, collapse, or bring into compliance with the code. And if you're satisfied with that, the board can give them time to do that. But if not, in default of that, if the board determines that they're serious enough to have them demolished, then the owners are given an order to demolish it, and after 20 days, if they do not, the town takes steps to have it demolished, and the cost of that demolition is then leaned back on the property in the tax bill.
Right, and what happens if the cost of the demolition, it goes 3 times what the value of that
Well,
property is?
sometimes that's the case, and you have to make the decision for the public health, welfare, and safety if that's a burden that the municipality takes on to clean up these sites and to keep them safe. I know in another municipality I represent, we had to pay $39,000 just for the abatement of asbestos from the building, as you've indicated.
Right.
And I think the total cost was 50-some-odd thousand. That property happened to have gone through foreclosure. A bank owned it, and they paid the tax bill, so the town got its money back. But there is the risk that you run, but the other risk you run is that the neighbors who keep their homes and everything are saddled with this eyesore next to them, so.
Yeah, okay.
So I felt we didn't have enough time to put that on the same resolution as the other two, so I put it as the addition. But it's appropriate to have all the hearings on the same date, which will be our next town board meeting on December 13th. So I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. That'll do it for resolutions. Okay, we have budget transfers. Has everybody received budget transfers? The town comptroller has emailed you, and you have your hard copies also for the budget transfers. If you have had any questions, did you contact anybody?
I didn't receive any questions, no.
Everybody has received the budget transfers, reviewed them. Any comments, questions, concerns? As you can see, it's, he has a reason for every budget transfer in there. Usually it's within the lines, or we exceeded, like, the sidewalk snow clearing costs were greater than budgeted. And hopefully this year we won't have it, but one storm already for the season, so. Any questions, concerns?
So, Mark, some of these costs, I see some increases. For instance, the sidewalk, they went from 5,500. Is this an actual figure? The 20,000 actual?
No, the actual is the 17,000. 20 is what I'm suggesting we increase the budget to. That allows for a little bit of expenditure for the rest of the year, including the storm that happened just a few nights ago.
So it's an increase of 2,900, correct?
It's a little bit more than that.
That's,
To
total
20.
is
Yeah, oh, yeah,
14,500.
14,500 to 20,000, I'm sorry.
Why
I was
the
looking
increase now?
year-to-date.
I mean, why such an increase in that?
I think in this year, we only received one bid. In prior years, we had received
Okay.
multiple sidewalk bids, and we had gotten it for much less, but there was no interest in it, so.
Yeah, that was a hard one. Remember we discussed that, Councilman? And no, it seemed that was always a problem with the sidewalks.
So the other one about the snow removal material, that's the buying of salt is?
That's salt, and, yes.
Okay. So also over there, we see an increase,
That's right.
right? Is it because we needed more salt or the price of the salt?
There was a certain commitment to purchase a quantity of salt. We did a little bit different methodology this year in terms of how we contracted for salt, so the commitment was different than expected.
And just a couple of two more comments. The minor repairs,
Yeah, minor repairs.
See a big jump over there?
Yeah. Well, we took on all the repairs for the police department and the town hall vehicles, where we used to sub that out to other, repair, vendors.
So,
Thank you.
with that, do we see any savings, or is the numbers the same or more?
There isn't necessarily any savings. It's hard to compare what the expenses would have been, in theory, if we had subbed it out.
But we could look, when we're done with the books, we could look at what we spent year-to-date, the difference of the budget that we had,
Yeah.
and what we spent last year on the vendors.
Yes,
I mean, it doesn't gauge it completely, but
it's probably, this question's probably better answered by someone in the highway department, but it is an aging fleet, and we've seen a lot of significant expenditure, repair needs this year, more so than in prior years. So that's why I'm saying it's difficult to compare, was there savings
right,
or
there
was
was
there
a
not
couple,
savings?
now
'Cause
that I remember, there was a couple of large ticket repairs, like
The
the
loader
loader,
and-
right? They
right.
had to do the brakes and something else.
Tens of
which was
thousands of dollars sometimes,
$20,000 just
CCSR.
for that, yeah, I remember now. Yep.
And it was something that was essential, we can't operate without it, so.
Yeah, we have two loaders, so we need them both.
And the other one, where it says capital improvement, is that some of the new trucks we bought, or also parts for repairs?
No, capital improvement is for the building.
Machinery and equipment, capital improvement.
That's $6,000 increase. That was just, there was a slight overage on, we had originally anticipated the cost to be a certain amount, it was slightly more than that. So
Okay.
that's a $6,000 increase.
Any other questions, concerns? We don't do many budget transfers. Mark waits pretty much to the end, which is good, too.
It gives us a better sense
Yeah,
of
of how we're budgeting.
how we are, yeah,
So-
and where the money can come from. Because this is all movement within the budget. There's no new total expenditures. This is reducing expenditures in one area to increase it in others.
Right, this isn't taking anything from savings, this is just interline changes. So, with that, do I have a motion to accept the budget transfers?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. With that, brings us to town board member comments. Town board? Yeah, he'll go last. Town board, would you like to say any comments?
Yeah, I got some.
Go ahead.
So, last month on the 29th, I attended a supervisor meeting, as the town supervisor said, together with the town supervisor at our police department. At the meeting, I was informed that on a prior day, on October 28th, there was a gentleman on roller skates by Lime Kill Road displaying a gun in public, which turned out to be a BB gun. Once the police officer stopped and questioned the individual, everything turned out to be okay, and the gentleman was returned to his residence in Beacon. Besides different department issues, Lieutenant John Wood notified us that our local, at that meeting, that our local East Fishkill Police Department will be participating in an autism training exercise with the Dutchess County Sheriff Department. I like to personally thank the police department, our local fire department, and of course, the highway department for the way they handled last Thursday snowstorm. This was a storm that I don't think too many people actually knew that it was going to be of this magnitude, and at least in our community, we took care of business. Thank you to everybody that really was out there and helping people to get home safe that day. It was not an easy ride. And lastly, I just want to thank the whole community. A happy Thanksgiving. Please be safe out there and enjoy your holiday.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman?
Just a few comments. I would like to wish everyone a happy belated Veterans Day. I didn't get a chance to wish everyone a happy Veterans Day last month. We are very thankful for our veterans here in East Fishkill, and if there's anything else we can do to support you, we'd be happy to reach out to us. In addition to that, I'd like to thank everyone at Town Hall for their participation in the budget process. I know it's a very grueling time of the year, but I think that the supervisor and the rest of the staff did a phenomenal job. In addition, I'd like to thank the chief, our fire chief, and Kenny for their great efforts during the snowstorm. I know it was a little bit difficult as it was the first storm of the season, and as Councilman Marinero mentioned, not many of us were prepared, but I think the town did a good job with the resources they had and working with our state and county partners. Lastly, I'd like to thank Bill Beal for his citizens preparedness training. He was reaching out to me for a couple months on that. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I look forward to attending the next one we host here in East Fishkill. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you, Councilman.
Quickly, I'd like to congratulate the Southern Dutchess Patriots 13U team. They were here earlier in the year. We had them do the pledge. They are now back-to-back champions of the Taconic Youth Football League. They defeated New Rochelle 22-12 in West Point, so congratulations to them. And again, everybody did a great job during the storm. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to all.
Thanks, Councilman. Deputy Supervisor?
Nope, just, everybody already thanked the highway and the police and the fire, so happy Thanksgiving.
Great. Chief? All set? Okay, I have a couple announcements. The East Fishkill Historical Society is having their Christmas open house at the Brinkerhoff House Historic Site on Kensington Drive off of Palin Road. It is Sunday, December 2nd, 1 till 4. It's a great time. Bring family and friends. Santa will also visit from 1 to 4 for photos. They have music, cookies, mulled cider cookies, Peter. They have cookies for you. Eggnog, and it's really nice out there, so get out there if you can. Also, they're having a holiday tea for the Historical Society, same place, 68 North Kensington Road, December 15th. Saturday, December 15th, it's from 1 to 3 o'clock. They have scones and desserts. It's a small fee. For reservations, you can call the Historical Society at 221-6123. And I am participating in No Shave November with our police department for charity, Sparrow's Nest. So I'd like to thank the police department for doing that. And also, we have our Christmas tree and our Hanukkah menorah lighting ceremony on December 2nd, Saturday, December 2nd. It is at 5 o'clock, and it is at the community center. If everybody would come out for that, I would appreciate it. It is a very nice event. The chorus is there. We do carols, Christmas carols, and Santa Claus also visits. And I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
This was a present for you, right?